What is up, YouTube?
Yeah.
My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, then hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah, guys, another one here on a Tuesday, getting closer, 5 days away till Sunday Night Football, and our Cowboys going to New York. I'm ready. You guys ready? Oh, yeah. We're going to break it down, get that first look, get that ref check in, guys. You know that's something we do here. We did it last year. We're doing it again this year. On usually the Tuesdays, the first look, we're going to check in on those refs that are slated to do our game, see how they did. Check them out. And other things here, of course, like injuries and quarterbacks for the future and that kind of stuff. Maybe some restructures as well, some Jerry Jones discussions. Yes, it's all here, My Cowboys Family. So, baby, as we open this thing up tonight, everyone hits that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Let's also yell out the names of the people representing here on the top of our boards. And there's a lot of new names and a lot of old names here on MCF, like the sponsor of the week, Jason Renfro. Much love to him.
Huge shout out to Jason.
Yeah, it's one of the dominators here on that side of things. And Snug X also dominating 4 weeks in a row as the Cash App King. Much love, Snug. You know why he's here. David Lara, 76 points on the Stream Boss. Appreciate all you guys coming into this week as the representatives of those boards. And don't forget that gifting board, guys. The gifting champion, Jason Renfro. Yes, he's got both of those, 2 of the 4 top spots of our board. And yes, he's done it for 5 on it. 5 weeks in a row for Jason Renfro when it comes to gifting memberships. Some of you guys right now in the chat getting them, so drop those emojis if you got them. And hey, it's all part of the MCF experience here as we're gearing up for week 1. I cannot wait for this Sunday night game. And another family member here coming into the old school and new school, guys. Jules, welcome.
Thank you for summing it up.
To the family, yes. So appreciate it. Now, as far as the current leaders for this week, baby, let's start with the Cash App side of things. And currently, it is the man that always stays skeptical fan. Much love to him. He is currently the leader on atop the Cash App board. There's a couple other people behind him. Jason Renfro always lurking. So we'll see what happens as we're entering just day 2 here of a 7-day week. You know, it all culminates on game night, Sunday night. So Skeptical in the lead there. Skeptical is in second place to Jason Renfro when it comes to the gifting board. He right now has 1. Jason has 2. Jason's the current leader, trying to go for 6 in a row on the gifting membership board. You see, I mean, the gifting membership leaderboard, I guess you could say. Appreciate you guys there. And, of course, the overall board currently right now, guys, it totally in that same person's control. Skeptical Fan in first place currently. Dwayne Broussard, second place. And then Jason Renfro in third. And then you got, Roy Strasner, Amazing Games there, tied for fourth. And Mark Hovsepian, always around, of course, Mr. Hawaii Mark there at, sixth place on the board. So as we go forward, baby, of course, you got Super Chats, you got Cash Apps. Super Chats, thanks button, membership, gifting, people that jump into memberships, right? Just like I just said, Dwayne Broussard, Mr. Strasner, Mr. Amazing Games. And there's also 4 other ways of kind of trying to capture that Cash App crown, baby. Let them know.
Of course, you have the Cash App money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, you have the Streamlabs link, which lets your comment show up on screen just like a Super Chat.
Yep, that's right. And last but never least, first actually, that's star level membership shout outs, guys. Much love to them. Over everything or the star, get always nightly shout outs. So, big shout out to Jason Renfro, Teresa Henderson. Congratulations.
There's some great timing there because Jason Renfro just gifted a membership there to Teresa.
He just hit the field goal here. 3 now for the week. What did Jason Renfro have to say? But much love to Jason Renfro is what we say, as he's now got a 2 gifting lead over Skeptical Fan. Much love, Jason Renfro, and appreciate the love being given out like this because, I think last I checked we're at 9 back on another emoji. It definitely is going to drop very soon. Like, it's going to drop pretty far away soon, but at least right now we are very close to getting another emoji opened up here. Appreciate Jason Renfro adding another one to his current lead on that side of things, and definitely moving up this board as well, getting closer and closer to Dwayne Broussard and Skeptical Fan. Congrats, by the way, to Teresa as well.
Yes. So with that said, of course, let me go ahead and do some shout outs here in the chat.
Yes, let's do that.
And then we'll touch on the.
I never did the star level guys, but.
Okay, so no, we have to do the star level numbers first, of course, guys. Yeah, I think we started with Jason Renfro, so let's start there again. Jason Renfro, huge shout out to you. Of course, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. Huge shout out to Andy Posh as well. Mary Alvarez, West Coast representation, and LC all the way from down under.
Don't forget the Don. Ron the Don Smith as well.
Put some respect.
He's just he's on top of it all. So appreciate everybody in the star level. Can't do this without you guys' love and support at all the levels. But hey, let's keep it moving, baby, and let's do those shout outs to people in the house ready to discuss our Dallas Cowboys.
Shout out to Rolando Rodriguez in the house, Mike Aldana, much love, and yes, we have all the Tyler Smith info and updates, not just what's actually going on, but also what we think is possibly going on, of course. Tammy Soltis, hello and hi. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. Yeah. Teresa Henderson, the lucky membership winner there. The man himself, the Lunatic.
The Lunatic. Cowboys. Much love to the Lunatic in the house.
Appreciate you, of course. Jason Renfro representing there. The sponsor of the week, the membership man.
Yes.
Tommy Montoya in the house. What's up? Hello. Asmodeus representing Darknet. Hello and hi. Thanks for coming through. We have Stephen White, of course. And again, fuck them. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. They can't recognize your worth. Asking for a week of vacation? That's BS. Yeah. So, Mari Roberts in the house here as well. Asmodeus, much love. Cameron, hello and hi. I know we had... Was Freedom First? Yeah, Freedom First was first today. So good for you. Freedom, congrats. I know that's...
Did it again.
Yes, and yes, guys, in case we did end up starting a little bit later. We're actually supposed to go live... early by MCF standards. But the Mosh Man asked us to hop on over there, drop our thoughts there. So we were over there. If you didn't already check out the Mosh Man, make sure to go check him out, sub it up. Yeah. But thank you, Mosh, for having us on. Yes. Shout out to everyone who's on there real quick. I know Mr. MCF handled himself well, represented us well.
We had a little conversation with our Cowboys. We'll be doing, of course, here on MCF and every night here on My Cowboys Family. But I know they want us to do more of the... a panel and that kind of stuff. It's just harder. People don't get it. It's hard to do it through OBS. It's almost impossible. You have to kind of rig it a certain way. So yeah. And
we're Jason, we are unfortunately a little bit too far away to make it out there, but our hearts and our thoughts are definitely with Camel and his whole family. Yes.
Yeah,
All
that was just a couple days ago,
Yeah.
his service there. So, yeah, we discussed that stuff. Obviously Camel, very important here for our YouTube lives, and just a great person himself. So, we've discussed him, but yeah, we talk about him all the time, and just a sad loss on that side of things. So I don't want to put a downer on here, but there is some news, info, and updates, and it's not all happy news, of course, as well either. Unfortunately, guys, multiple sources already confirmed that former Syracuse wide receiver, but he's known, if you're in the NFL, he's with the Bucs, mainly a Bills wide receiver, Mike Williams, passed away following injuries suffered during an accident while working at a construction site. He was only 36 years old. Vincent Jackson, he had died a couple years ago. I think he was 38 years old. Both these receivers for the Buccaneers in that same period, they're both gone. It's crazy. Before 40, just insane. Brandon James Shea in the house. I'm going to just read the Go Cowboys part there. I'm going to read the MVP Dak Prescott part. He dropped $1.53 holler. What did Brandon James Shea have to say?
Go Cowboys.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you, of course.
Yes. Got to always represent that star, Mr.
Kicking
Mr.
things
Shea.
off on the official side of things here.
Yeah. Yeah. On the board wise, David Lara goes to, this is going to hurt, Tyler Smith points on that board right now. So I'll update that.
He's just trying to stay on theme for tonight's discussion.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
All. That's
Hey,
all.
good job,
Right?
Brandon.
Splitting up Poppy, hello and hi.
Yeah, yep. And another crazy situation, Anthony Brown. I'm sorry, not Anthony. Antonio Brown. How can I dare get him confused? Another AB, not the one from our team, but Antonio Brown was threatening to shoot 3 Albany Empire football players over a deleted tweet. This goes back to his ownership. He owned part ownership for the team and didn't pay any of the players. Didn't pay anybody.
Really
So,
unfortunate.
and then he threatened to shoot people. So, anyways, Antonio Brown, crazy as he was the moment he snapped some years back. So, one last piece of NFL news here before we kind of get moving to more Cowboy-centric stuff. I do have to update the board. So, but I do want to quickly say tomorrow's the first game of the football season. Not as big a deal for me until Sunday night for our Cowboys. But the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Detroit Lions. And tight end Travis Kelce today, guys, announced he's going to be up. His status is up in the air for the Thursday night season opening game against the Lions. He hyperextended his knee during Tuesday's practice. This is per Andy Reid. And he has not missed a game, Travis Kelce, because of an injury since becoming a starter in 2014.
Damn.
Yeah. And again, that also includes playoffs. Patrick Mahomes has 227 touchdown passes in his career, and 211 of them have been with Kelce on the field. Just on the field. 93% of the time he's threw touchdowns, Kelce was on the field as well.
I mean, talk about consistency, though. Damn.
That's a huge important piece for the Chiefs. And after these tests today, Travis Kelce's ACL came back as intact, which is great news. But there is inflammation in the knee, and they're going to test it again Wednesday to determine his availability against the Lions Thursday night. Now, personally speaking, as far as a football game is concerned, I'll be watching it. I care about the Cowboys Sunday night, but if you tell me which team do you hope wins, I'm going to hope the AFC team wins. Because, we want the number 1 seed in the NFC, and that's my goal. We could say it's too early to think about it. I don't give a good goddamn. I want the Lions to lose every game to the AFC they can. Every NFC team to lose to every AFC team as often as possible, no matter what. Other than us, of course. So, again, Travis Kelce, you're looking at them maybe without possibly the top 2 out of the top 3 players other than Mahomes. You got Travis Kelce with the hyperextended knee issue right now. And you got someone like Chris Jones, who still is holding out. No idea when he's coming back, but he ain't playing this game. So the Chiefs, going to be struggling a little bit against these Lions, who maybe are one of the teams I think it's like my 4th. I'd say they're going to win the Central. the North, I think. And I think they're one of the teams to me that are going to be, maybe I'd say maybe the 4th team of the top 3. I'm just saying and maybe even the 3rd team when it comes to, the seeding side. I think they will win the North. So just saying, the Lions can get a boost from this game against the Chiefs if they can beat the Super Bowl champions, So I hope the Chiefs win. But they got two major guys out, one on offense and one on defense. So hit up the chat real quick, baby. I'm going to update the board for Brandon James Shea.
Yeah, of course. And Thomas Gary said, Antonio Brown needs some serious help. I think
Agreed.
he also was posting on social media or something. Basically, he's like, "Oh yeah, I have CTE."
He did a while back. He blamed it on that. Yeah.
Diagnosing himself with CTE, and honestly, he is probably not necessarily wrong.
You're right, but he's also using that as an excuse. Like that's why he's acting this way. I don't know about that.
I think it's more one of those things that I don't see it. How do I put this? I don't see it as an excuse. But that doesn't somehow mean that you just allow that type of behavior to continue or whatever. The reality is that we're going to be faced with these types of situations more and more, as we start realizing that, hey, all those players that keep getting into shenanigans, maybe a few of them are just naturally problematic. The rest of them, brain damaged, right? So... But it is hard to argue about guys who get paid millions of dollars to go beat themselves up when the rest of us get paid our normal regular wage to go beat ourselves up. So just saying that I understand why maybe the sympathy is not quite as strong when these guys at least get the chance to get their big paydays along with all that. So now real quick, let me go ahead and hit up the chat here. Oh, he blamed it on his old Steelers teammate. Yeah, Tommy, again. Like I said, obviously he is going through some stuff and has been for basically his entire career / life. So
yeah, I mean, again,
but
really,
it's just hard to see somebody struggle so publicly.
He was having those issues with Big Ben and the Steelers when that was towards the end. It was some erratic behavior. That's when it really came to light, I guess.
Haley 94 Weir said, "I've been laughing all afternoon about Bigadish." Oh.
Biotish?
Yes. So, skeptical fans, so far, no one has reached out to us from the winners. Again, looks like we're going to be doing some kind of a re-raffle. I'm assuming this Saturday.
Is that 2 weeks?
Very likely.
That's 2 weeks. It is 2 weeks.
It's going to be
almost 2 weeks on
it'll be 2 weeks on Sunday.
Yeah.
But, we're not going to do that on game day. Right, Jason Renfro? We got other things to focus on.
Yeah.
While our Dallas Cowboys are playing, but thank you so much, Jason Ruff, with the $2 holler saying Gallimore takes a pay cut. So let's go Cowboys.
Yep, that's coming up right here, Jason. You saw him on the thumbnail. There's a reason. Mr. Gallimore, he didn't get cut. I'm thinking that's why he took the pay cut. I don't know. We'll see.
I think
Something
they pulled
connected
the DeMarcus Lawrence type of deal.
Behind the scenes, possible.
So, but real quick, pretty
yes.
LaMarcus Robinson, Ken Got Kicks, please reach out to us. Shoot us an email. MyCowboysFamily@gmail.com. Please let us get your raffle prize to you.
Yep. We got a couple days left.
Chris and Burn Bar should have gotten their hats today.
Yeah, they did. I think they did, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, much love on that side of things and appreciate Skeptical, with that navy blue raffle. Mm-hmm. So, by the way, I want to say one last thing about Kelvin Joseph before we get to all our fully cowboyed out. We got a little cowboyed out here. Kelvin Joseph retweeted today's announcement of his number. He's not number 1 anymore. He's not number 24 like he was originally with us. He's now number 9. And it said, New Jersey number said Dolphins DB Kelvin Joseph is now wearing number 9. The last worn by Noah Mahogany. I was going to say Mahogany every time at the end. But Iggy, as I say. So Noah, the new player we traded for that we gave away Kelvin Joseph and got him in there. He actually now is taken. Kelvin Joseph has now taken Noah's number there in Miami. He retweeted that and said, quote, "I don't know the guy, but hey, let's get it." So I just think he's just making a little
Don't worry,
joke
I'm sure
right
he
there.
doesn't know you either, Colin. So
they both know each other because they're drafted in the same draft.
I'm messing around.
Actually, no, they were drafted to draft apart, but he was the number 1, the Ziggy guy, and Kelvin Joseph was a second rounder, so they know each other. Anyways, Cowboys now. Let's get to the Cowboys. First quickie here when it comes to before we dive deeper into the news.
Yes,
Micah
I'm
Parsons.
going to reiterate it real quick. Yes, I do believe that we ended up with a DeMarcus Lawrence-esque type of situation when it comes to Gallimore. The Cowboys basically just said, hey, you either take what we're offering you or you can kick rocks.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to discuss that now in a second, and I think that was something where it was decided a couple of days ago, I would say, before the cuts. But Micah Parsons, Micah, real quick, guys, a really quick thing here. He actually streamed on EA Madden NFL at 5 p.m. Eastern time today. And people can get a chance to play him through this thing. It's just kind of interesting to see him out there. So we got a couple days to go for a game, and he's out there playing video games. But that's how he gets hyped. I seen him play some. He's obviously passionate, as he's going to be intense as he is in the field. A way of getting his kind of mental reps almost in some ways. I think Micah Parsons out there taking this shit serious, whether it's real football, Madden football, don't matter. Whether it's tiddlywinks, he's out there fucking trying to kill you. So I love that. Now you see in some of these, some of these pass rushing plays, you occasionally see number 96 flash in front. Neville Gallimore, guys. Yes, as Jason Renfro said today, there was some cap room created for the Cowboys. All right? And when we talk about cap room, is it going to be a real big money saving? We already are like what? $16 million, under the cap. We got that money that we can spend it right now. We do know, though, the Cowboys got, we talked about this the other day, about the big contracts around the corner. Micah, Dak, extension. You got CeeDee Lamb right there as well. So, along with someone like Tyler Biadasz as well. So, you got a lot of names still got to work with. And Neville Gallimore today reworked his contract with the Cowboy front office, creating cap room for Dallas. About $1.2 million in cap room. So not much at all. So now instead of 16, we're at $17 million open on the cap. This is more for rollover in my opinion. But you got to remember, guys, this is also a pay cut. He is taking a pay cut. That's why the wife and I are saying Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones are probably like, we'll keep you. We're going to get your numbers down. And, his salary went from $2.7 million to $1.5 million. And then he can earn back $750,000 of that. So he just gave back.
They basically just changed it into like incentives, more or less.
Yeah, and they kept $500,000. So you got to remember, Gallimore played at least 35% of the snaps in 2 out of the 3 years he's been with us, and he earned a proven performance escalator, and that's why it bumped up. Remember, if you're a player that has certain number of snaps in 2 of your first 3 years, you do. If you're on a rookie contract, they do bump up your salary. That's why he got paid more. It was not in his contract. He got that bump from the NFL numbers and rules, and the way that was agreed upon. He agreed to take that number back to where it was, and then he can earn most of that money back. I feel like he feels he's not earned that in a way. And I think the Joneses are also saying, listen, we're going to keep Isaiah Land, or we're going to keep you, and you're going to take a pay cut. You know what I'm saying? That's what I could see happening. I'm just kind of making it in a quick little 2-second sentence, but that's what I think I could see happening in the background and behind the scenes. I don't know what you guys think.
No, but I have to agree just based off of, again, just the way that the Cowboys usually do things, and then the way that our cards kind of got dealt to us now under these circumstances, right? So, but yes, no, we did not actually cut Gallimore.
Nope.
And again, it is sad not to see Land, I think, like officially kind of taking that spot that we were hoping to see him at. But I had said it before. If you told me right here, right now, I had to pick between Gallimore or Land.
Who would you say?
Right now, immediately, not in the future, not in a few weeks. Like right now, I'm taking Gallimore.
I agree.
I agree. We hemmed and hawed over that one, and that's what it really came down to. So
I went with the chat things on that because, again, I think you're going for a guy who played against third and fourth stringers like Isaiah Land, who looks for a great future. We kind of know Neville Gallimore's ceiling for the most part. I wouldn't say all the way. And he still has 3 years of football under his belt. He knows what's going on in that field. You can count on him in a game. I don't think you really count on Isaiah Land to be part of the true.
Clayton Godfrey, hello and hi, what's up? He said we have like $20 million, but yeah, we need money for CeeDee Lamb and Micah and Biadasz.
Yeah, I know. And also, by the way, I know they play different positions as well. Obviously, when you talk about Isaiah Land, who's an edge rusher type of guy, and you got someone like Gallimore who's a defensive tackle, they're different. But you're talking about one spot on the defensive line that can go to either or.
Yeah,
and then with Gallimore over Land,
it's one of the few times that my logic, and I know you always get mad at me when I say this, but in my mind, all the defensive linemen, like obviously I know they're separate positions and stuff like that, but they're all just in one group.
Yeah,
in my mind.
That's why people call it
outside. It's not interior, like outside.
Well, now you know, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that I didn't know before. Like obviously before I didn't know as much. Now I know every position, but to me in my mind, it is still like one D-line unit.
Well, again, think of it as the offensive line. So you got a center, 2 guards, and 2 tackles. So it's 3 different positions on an offensive line. Defense, you have 2 different positions.
I know, but to me, the offensive line is still like, they're all different pieces, but it's still if anything, that's what influenced my thoughts on the D-line. To me, it's like the D-line is one cohesive unit that just happens to be made up of different parts. So again,
that's
there's
the
only
offense.
so many spots.
I see it.
There's only so many spots available on the D-line. So like you said, even though they play in different positions within the D-line, still all D-line, it still all counts.
It is It is simpler.
So yes,
a center and a guard and a tackle are truly different players, right? You can see DeMarcus Lawrence going as a 3 tech. You can see the 5 tech, 3 tech overlap sometimes on the outside. So there is some of that inside out. You got Chauncey Golston, who can play inside and outside. He can do that stuff. Fehoko hopefully will do that as well. I'm just saying, like, that's just an idea of the defensive. That's why but it is a unit on the defensive line and a unit on the offensive line. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the better units of that is gonna win this game on week 1. I've been saying this all week. It's not about the star players. It's not about the quarterbacks. It's about the defensive line and the offensive line and who can hold each other back and who can get through better. That's going to be the key, and it's going to be tougher than we think because of the Tyler Smith situation. We're going to discuss that in a minute.
Rich Scotty called Dr. Jerry. That's funny. Lost in Translation said, I'm so ready for the season to get started. Jared Morrison, what's up? I don't know if the season's over, but definitely off to a bit of a
don't like to start off
bumpy start
with our weakest depth position, offensive line, coming off of something like that with a guy who is, to me, is going to be a Pro Bowler, a perennial Pro Bowler like Tyler Smith. So that's a major loss to kick off the season. But let's talk about, as we talked about money a minute ago, right? We talked about the fact that, the Gallimore move, Terrence Steele extension. You got to remember, guys, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The Cowboys have to spend a mandatory certain number of money on cash, on the cash side of things. The Cowboys, with this deal with Terrence Steele, moved about $12 million closer to the cash floor, which they got to get to that cash floor no matter what. The Cowboys are still around $40 to $50 million they got to spend. Still $40 to $50 million they got to spend before the middle of March of 2024. So again, keep that in mind. Where is this money going to come? Of course, you could say some names right off the bat, which we know. People are going to say Dak Prescott extension. CeeDee Lamb, extension. Micah Parsons, extension. So that future is bright. I think we're going to get those done. But is that going to take the $40 to $50 million? Extremely unlikely that all 3 of those guys and their deals will be done by middle of March. Maybe one guy will be done, but not all 3 guys. The Cowboys have to get to that cash that cash floor ceiling. They gotta get up. I say up because they're way below the line. Cowboys have to spend about $40 to $50 million more between now and next March. And I'll tell you what happens in a minute. But the point is, how will the Cowboys get there? I believe they're going to get there and meet these numbers. Any contract restructure that goes down, especially the ones that happen in February and early March, which that's when all these restructures and these re-signings happen. All of that will be gobbled up, should be gobbled up by that $40 to $50 million still open. Now, of course, like I said, you get Dak's extension done, you're going to get a big chunk of that done. Plus, whatever the things you do at the end of the year, right? It's, I'm talking about the end of the football season year, right? February, end of February and March. So that will cover most of it, I believe, with another, with maybe one of these 3 guys getting a big deal. And then those other deals will be done on the new money cash floor situation where they got to get it to that point again, and that will happen. A lot of that money will be taken, I think, next year earlier with guys like CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. But that will be on the next year numbers there after middle of March. What if the Cowboys don't meet the cash floor? What's the violation penalty, whatever that has to happen? Well, the NFL and the NFL Player Association, they take that cash from the Cowboys team. Like, they take it out of Jerry Jones's pocket and they distribute it among the players who were on their roster during the last 3-year window. The last 3 years. In that window, if you were on the Cowboys, you get some money back. If the Cowboys cannot, you get a percentage. Everyone splits it. If it's $40 million, you and about 100 players will probably split $40 million. Just saying that's what happens. Now, Jerry Jones is going to be sure to get that money spent. Trust me. And he'll spend it with these contracts I just said. Not the big ones, but the restructures. The ones that he might get one big contract done this season maybe. But it's going to be about, whatever he can be done in February and the beginning of March. That will take care of most of this money. So they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna hit. They're gonna be in any violation as far as the cash floor. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting because the move from Gallimore today, that is some restructure there. That now looks like it. Again, we took money away, but when that money is paid out, it will come from that batch, so to speak. So that's the good news there. I guess we're $1 million closer to that cash floor. Anyways, I know it's kind of boring, but I just wanted to make a mention. That means the Cowboys have to spend a lot of money still, and that means from now until the middle of March, Cowboys have to spend a lot of money. Now, who's the person spending this money? Whose pocket is it getting pulled from, baby? You know who it is, right? Jerry Jones.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say make a joke and say Neville Gallimore, but I figured.
Jerry Jones. No, Jerry Jones spoke about certain things, about decisions that he made and decisions that he's going to make. So first we're going to start with Trey Lance. That's what Jerry Jones spoke about here. That's who he spoke about, Trey Lance. And where is Trey? There he is. And yeah, and listen, he was no, it's good. He again, guys, as the owner and as the GM of this team of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones said, "I can make any decision I want.
Yeah, I guess
whenever I want."
I guess he was a little bit bothered by I guess some of the talk around the whole Trey Lance move and how he didn't consult McCarthy or consult Dak or anything. He basically kind of, and you have the actual quote, but he basically said all the information he needed on Trey Lance. He already had it. So he didn't have to kind of speak to anyone else before making this trade. So, baby, this Trey Lance move, what did Jerry Jones say about this and his handling of this situation with Trey Lance? He said, "You're continually prepared to catch an opportunity. If you had to think long or hard or if you had to think long or hard or have a committee meeting over something like that, then the train is gone. I didn't have to send it around. I can make that trade in 5 minutes."
There you go. Jerry Jones doing his Jerry Jones thing.
Yeah, obviously just kind of letting everybody know, hey, I am the owner. I don't need to consult McCarthy. I don't need to consult whatever. This is my team. I can do what I want type of thing. But I think it's more about it's less about I can do what I want. I'm the owner of this team, and more he liked Trey Lance. He knows football enough to know that Trey Lance is you get what I'm trying to say? He's not necessarily doing it so much as I'm the owner, I can do what I want, although obviously that's part of it. It's very much more of I know football and I can make this move because I know football.
Yeah, no, I
hope I'm making myself
I understand. I think that you're right. He already has the info from Will McClay and has the input from some of the people on the team already about Trey Lance. We were looking at Trey Lance to draft him, or not draft him, but really interested in seeing maybe if he fell, would the Cowboys take a chance on him? Cowboys liked him from the beginning. And we love Cowboy Mosh. He's in the house. And what did he do? He dropped that 5 on it.
Woo.
Guys, make sure you subscribe to his channel, Cowboys Mosh, and multiple channels he has there. So you even see old MCF doing some overtime, late night stuff over there. Much love to Cowboys Mosh, the Mosh Man, the jerseys, the jerseys won here and all the raffles. The Mosh Man brings it. So appreciate him and appreciate the 5 on it. I put him on the board, and baby, what did the man have to say?
Oh, he said Mosh Raid, Dallas Cowboys for life. Like, sub, and share.
Yes,
so, guys,
love.
Please go show the Mosh Man some love if you haven't already. Thank you, Mosh, for having us on earlier tonight and obviously showing the love here, dropping the love now. Guys, get your cowboy gear from him. And please remind us to hit you up about the rest of that order we have working on behind the scenes there.
Yes, we got the order basically put together. So we'll just clarify some things and then off it goes. The other winner was Jason Renfro. So we'll be getting all that together in a minute. So
hold on though. Basically, we only really got away with that for a year or two. By the time that Jerry had enough fuck you money to basically sign the most talented players and become that big allure, the NFL found a very quick way to say, we don't like that, we're stopping it. So that ended up being that.
Yeah.
So even Jerry has a few rules he has to play by, right?
Yeah, but Jerry's not done because some people maybe don't like what's going to come next. What Jerry said. I know you have some of the comments, but if there's any of the comments in the chat, definitely hit them up if you want. But much love. By the way, with that drop, David Lauer goes to 66 points. Route 66. TJ Bass might be starting out there. Him or Austin Richards. We're going to discuss that in a minute. We got to get there, though, and we're almost there because Jerry Jones leads us in to that convo. Oh, okay. You going to do Jerry? All right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because we kind of touched on most of the comments here.
So, just anyway, here's the thing, guys. So now the thing is Dak Prescott. We talked about Trey Lance for a second. But what about Dak Prescott? And they asked him about this. He was on the radio show on 105.3 The Fan today. And, the whole discussion about the extension, the money situation, right? He said, and it wasn't just him, it was other guys too. They asked him about what about Dak, what about CeeDee Lamb, and maybe even after the season begins, what's going to happen with these guys? Jerry Jones said, quote, again, is there a chance that the negotiating table is always open for CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, even once the season starts? And Jerry Jones said, quote, absolutely, at any time. So at any time we get a Dak extension, and any time we get a CeeDee Lamb extension, we'll see what happens. The Cowboys have yet to get a deal done, obviously, with Dak. And Dak, he's going to hit the cap for $59. You heard it right. $59 million. Jerry Jones said they expect Dak to be here a long time. What do I mean by that? Baby, you have the quotes. All the details about what Jerry Jones said about Dak Prescott and that new contract.
Jerry said, quote, those contracts, those types of numbers, especially the big ones, you live with constantly. That's always on your mind. There's never a time when it goes away because you've got to make the entire thing fit. So it's on the mind on a player decision in the middle of the year, but it's just a fundamental. We expect Dak to be with us for a long time.
We'll get back to that in a minute because Skeptical Fan here dropping that $2 holler. I know you're reading, so I'm going to say he gave us that Go Cowboys and that big thumbs up. Don't forget, guys, hit that thumbs up right now. If you haven't yet for the stream, and subscribe to the channel. Keep growing the family here at MCF. Appreciate you, Skeptical Fan, as he stays in first place right now. Just a little bit ahead of Jason Renfro and Dwayne Broussard. Appreciate you, brother. Go Cowboys.
Ooh,
David Lara's back to down to 64 points. The next level. So again, Jerry Jones talking about, it's a decision. You can make it in the middle of the year. It's kind of a fundamental thing. But Dak being here with it, say that again, baby. I want to hear that again about Dak Prescott. He said he's going to be here for a long time. We got 2 years left in the deal. Mm-hmm. Some people can't wait to get him out of here.
Jerry said it. We expect Dak to be with us a long time. And yeah, we're always working around it with several machinations of numbers that would work. It's a moving target. Those contracts, you kind of have to assume that you're going to have in place at some number, knowing that that's not going to be exact until you get into negotiations. It's constantly on your mind.
So Jerry's constantly thinking about Dak, and that contract around the corner, the extension. So now we know, guys, and I don't know what your thoughts on this, what the chat may think about this, but anybody's kind of thoughts on the fact that, again, I have no problem with this. You got to lower that cap hit next year. Yes, you're going to be taking a cap hit in the future. You got to push that money to a dead cap numbers. But that's where you're at right now. And Dak Prescott, shown us a lot. He's battled through a lot of things in the last 8 years of his career here, in his career with the Cowboys. And to me, this will be the year. I think the Cowboys are waiting kind of middle of the year. If Dak's really rolling with this offense and the scheme, I think they're gonna make that extension work. I think that that's at the latest. The Cowboys are definitely wanting to sign Dak long term. So those that talked about Trey Lance taking over, not saying that can't happen. We know Jerry Jones and they all said all these things. They love Trey Lance. They also love Dak Prescott. So their plan is, Dak's the man right now, and he's going to be the guy here for some years. Now again, that's just them saying it. They could be lying. It could change in the future. But Dak, Stephen Jones, McCarthy, everybody who's involved with Dak in any way, players, everyone, knows this guy can do it. Now, as far as Jerry Jones speaking, we know he can talk out the side of his mouth about things. So I never believe everything 100%. But I do believe that the Cowboys are trying to, whatever that's in their mind about trying to get Dak, in their mind, what is a good deal to the Cowboys, is what they're trying to accomplish right now with Dak Prescott through these next couple of months, possibly until the next offseason, right? And then I think something gets done then, or else we're taking a $59 million cap hit next year. So what do you think about this with Dak, being here a long time, extension?
I've obviously personally been a fan of it, and I do think that the Joneses / front office / Jerry, whoever you want to pin this on, doesn't really matter, right? I think it's smart for them to try and get as ahead of this as possible. So, short of, I guess, Dak breaking both legs next week, I don't see how keeping him even longer is ever going to be a bad thing. But, of course, I feel like that's obviously heavily dependent on your feelings about Dak Prescott. Because if you are neutral / maybe not a fan / very much not a fan of Dak, then any kind of extension or longer-term deal sounds like nails on chalkboard to you.
What's the chat saying, baby?
So, let me see. Jeff Coughlin said, Dak is a real good quarterback. But you have to admit, we haven't even gotten to the NFC Championship game with him yet. Why not take a chance on Trey Lance? His arm talent is elite.
Because arm talent is better than Dak's. He's also more mobile in the pocket than Dak, and he's at this point of his career to Dak, in his second, third year of his career, Dak wasn't as aggressive down the field like Trey Lance is. But that's where it stops. Everything else, Dak is dominant. And I'm talking about reading the field. I'm talking about, going. And I know some people may laugh about this because of the interceptions, but guys, Dak at least knows how to read man and zone defenses. Trey Lance can only read man defense, and I'm over-exaggerating it, but he suffers when in zone defense. When the defense is in zone defense, he cannot get the field the reads right on a consistent basis, and so he'll never take over for Dak Prescott ever, especially like that. You know what I'm saying? If he can get it together, then he'll take over Cooper Rush's spot. Right now, Cooper Rush is in front of Trey Lance. So I'm just saying, you don't want to throw away a Super Bowl chance season, a Super Bowl run season, because you want to get silly about your quarterback situation. It'd be stupid for the Cowboys to put Trey Lance in. If he's in there somehow, we're in trouble this year. Trey Lance, if he's a starter, we're in trouble in this season. So Dak Prescott, no matter how you feel about him or not, he's here this year, he's here next year, no matter what happens. And on top of that, he is the best quarterback for this team, pretty much outside of like Mahomes, maybe Aaron Rodgers and a couple others. That's it. You don't want anybody else on this team. You don't want an equivalent. Some people believe Josh Allen or Kirk Cousins or these guys are equivalents to Dak, and maybe not. Who cares? You don't want those guys on this team. You want Dak on this particular team. So now Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes. All right, yeah. You're talking about the top 2-3 quarterbacks in the fucking league. Stop being so goddamn nitpicky. We can't have it all like that. We got a damn good top 10 quarterback. Stop focusing on him. He's not the one taking us by himself to a divisional title game in the NFC. It's the fucking whole entire team. Defense had issues in the past. Offense has had issues in the past. Coaching has had major issues. Just saying, guys. It's a combination of fuckery. And it just happens that we keep getting tripped up by that. Dak can't control the defense or the coaching. Coaching can control Dak or the defense. On the offensive side of the ball, Dan Quinn can't help what the offense does or doesn't do. So, that's pretty simple, I think, the breakdown there.
Yeah, that seems a little bit more straightforward. Stephen White said, this Texas Toast offense is ready to burn corners and safeties.
That I agree with.
They're going to be extra crispy.
They're going to burn corners and safeties because we're going to hit them on the outside and slants inside. We're going to hit the running backs and tight ends, when it's more bunched inside and down the, starting off with the running back or the tight end on the line of scrimmage, the running back in the backfield. They'll be out there as kind of outlets for Dak. If read 1 and 2 and maybe 3 are not available, if he's not going to run, he's got a couple outlets as well. That's going to be consistent because that's going to get us fucking yards. Yeah, gets us 4 yards, but I'd take 2nd and 8. I'd take 2nd and 6 over 2nd and 9 every day of the week. So I'm good with that. I like the way this offense is going.
Yeah, so 808 Cowboy Bird Killer, what's up? So Lost in Translation said, who's better than Forsacci?
For who?
I'm not sure who that is. So, yeah, let me know. So, by the way, Lost in Translation did say earlier, Dak is way better. Way better. So, again, sorry for all you Trey Lance enthusiasts, but Dak is definitely currently.
Well, yeah. I mean, without question, that's even a silly comparison. But we never know. What the future brings is one thing. If you're a Cowboy fan, you shouldn't care about 2 years from now at the earliest, especially if Dak gets an extension. Forget about it. Dak is here. He can't be traded unless he wants to be traded, and he don't want to be traded, and that's the way it's going to be. Whether you like it or not, I don't even care about it. I don't care if I like Dak is shown me he has more than enough to get an offense into the Super Bowl. You got to get the right pieces around him, which I think we're as close as we've been there. And I think the most important thing is a good coach for Dak. Dak is such a coached guy. He's such a like a yes sir coach guy. Yes coach, no coach kind of guy. You gotta really be a good coach to get his skill set out and on that field. You can't be there and force him into your skill set and hope to become whatever Kellen Moore wanted or Linehan wanted or Garrett wanted. I think McCarthy giving him the best chance right now, the best coach he's ever had, I think, in the NFL going forward with this. So all signs point to fantastic as far as I'm concerned when it comes to Dak Prescott.
No, agreed. So Jeff Coughlin also said here, just arm talent. That's it. Just arm talent. So
I mean, if he can read better, if he can read the field better when it comes to Trey Lance, then maybe, yeah, I can say that too. With arm talent means nothing. He throws, into horrible zones, that he can't read.
So, Vern Var cracking me up. One of these days I'm going to have to add a command for that just for you. Yes.
I knew it.
So
he should have got his hat, right?
Thanks for rolling here. If it didn't arrive today, then it should be arriving tomorrow in the mail, just because I know Monday was Labor Day. Yeah. So,
right.
So I'm also a day behind on my packages. So Aztec Aguilar 04 said, arm talent's one thing. He's got to have all parts of his game on point to get us excited for him to be on the field. And right now is not that time.
Exactly. Not if we were like an average team, I'd say, all right, you might see that happen. We're a team on the Super Bowl mindset here, Super Bowl run. You don't throw it away because you want to try Trey Lance in there. That would be a disaster, a disaster. But hey, if you have to put him in, it's a different story. It won't be good, but at least it won't be making the wrong move.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's get it rolling back to what the real thing I wanted to know today. And again, no McCarthy speaking today. So all we have is this guy, Jerry Jones, about the injury to a major piece of this team, Tyler Smith. So here's what happened, guys. When it comes to Tyler Smith, Tyler Smith experienced hamstring tightness early during practice on Monday. This is obviously a fucked up development, no doubt, as we're about to visit MetLife Stadium here to face the Giants to open up the season week 1. Well, as we've been discussing all offseason, the bigger worry to me is offensive line depth. That is something I've been bitching about it, and I deservedly should be, and so should you guys. That's been a problem the whole time for me. All we have is Chuma Edoga with a little bit of, with some NFL experience, but is it good? So we'll talk about that in a minute with the details. But right now, Jerry Jones today also spoke encouragingly about the prognosis on Tyler Smith's hamstring. All right? I 105 through the fan, of course, Tuesday morning. He said this, quote, "We felt better about that injury as we visited and addressed it after practice. You always are concerned initially, but as he got acclimated a little bit off of it, it hopefully is not serious enough of an injury to impact him on Sunday night."
All right, so it sounds like what the initial kind of impact there, or the initial bit of that injury, just kind of knocked him on his ass pretty hard there. But it seems like once he got over that initial
he was walking right.
He came back very quickly from that. So,
well, again,
which is a very positive sign.
That was a positive, kind of thought this morning, right? And again, people yesterday classified this injury as minor. So that's great news, right? That was earlier this morning. Again, Jerry Jones kept speaking. He said that basically couldn't make any promises yet about how, if he's going to be able to play in this game against the Giants or start against the Giants. He said injury assessment is a process, though. And, of course, you'll find out in a minute that he got an MRI, Tyler Smith. And that's what Jerry Jones said. Quote, "We'll get an MRI on him today." And again, guys, of course, from Tulsa, getting this precautionary MRI today. He got it today. And tomorrow is our first on-the-field practice for the season. Let's be real about it when it comes to the Giants. And this true game 1, kind of our normal pattern of practice is what it's going to be. Injury report comes out tomorrow. All right, so again, and usually it kicks off the practice week on the field. So that's what we're going to see. The actual is going to be limited, is going to be doubtful. What's going to be the thing at the end of the week on Friday? So Jerry Jones, though, optimistic that these official results will back up their first impressions, and that he'll be available, no problem. Take that left guard spot against the Giants. Now, according to Jerry Jones, he also said this about Tyler Smith, quote, "Nothing that we've evaluated keeps him out of the game at this point." So again, that's everything Jerry Jones is saying about Tyler Smith. Sounds like he's going to play. He actually added a little bit about the depth. if it's needed, right? Because again, Jerry Jones said he feels good about Tyler Smith being able to play. He said, quote, I also feel good about the roster that we have, but I prefer to have better depth on our offensive line. And that's, of course, Jerry, we've been saying this for a long time here in my Cowboys family, maybe years, but again, specifically this year. And I want to know, baby, what did Jerry Jones say in full context? You know, if something happens to Tyler Smith, even Jerry Jones is worried about our offensive line depth. Give me the full context of his quote. What did Jerry Jones say about depth on this O-line?
He said, quote, we feel very good about this roster where it is. As pointed out, and it's true, your depth in the offensive line would be a thin spot that I would go to. Get in line. I don't know of a team in the NFL that doesn't say that.
Huh. You said that.
I have said that. So that's kind of made me laugh for a second. So back to what Jerry said, quote, that means that you're going to be playing some games out there with potentially a little concern there. That's why you need an offense that can execute when there's not perfect protection or it's not perfectly run blocked. You've got to have a team that can adjust when they don't have a perfect offensive line.
Now, I do want to say something about that.
Sounds like previously we did not, just saying.
Well, listen, here's what I'm going to say, baby. That's actually a great quote there, because what was the thing we always said about Garrett? He always needed the perfect blocked, perfectly executed offensive play to be successful, and we were when it was perfect. When it was perfect, when something was not right on the run block, we lost yards. When something, when it was a little bit of an issue, a player couldn't get there in time, a guy beat a guy there, the play's done. It's just the perfection had to be always constant with Jason Garrett for it to be consistently efficient on offense. And that was seen throughout the years, and I don't care, Romo, Dak, everything. So to me, what Jerry Jones has said now, to me, changes. It kind of went there. I think it kind of followed with Kellen Moore, kind of that mindset. And I think that's a change this year for our Cowboys. The way that Jerry Jones is speaking about this kind of, like you said, it didn't seem like we've done this in the past. We weren't able to adjust when we don't have the perfect offensive line. I think Mike McCarthy, like I said multiple times, for the last 2 months, been preparing for not this exact moment of Tyler Smith, but been preparing for Tyron Smith to be injured, and we have to prepare. How are you going to prepare? Jerry Jones is not going to sign anyone. Okay, there's no offensive line depth in the NFL, like Jerry Jones saying. Okay, like you've said. Okay, all this is true. Mike McCarthy knows this. Guess what Mike McCarthy did? He said, let's have an offense that incorporates functions throughout a game. You can have quick throws to the outside to avoid getting pressured by a broken offensive line. That's very. Maybe I'm giving Mike McCarthy too much credit, but that's what I feel. He kind of looked forward and said, "Okay, I got to make sure I got this team ready to be able to deal with a broken offensive line because it's going to happen. It just happens to start again. God damn it, week 1, which it really pisses me the hell off." So again, that's kind of where we're sitting here with that comment and that quote by Jerry Jones. So now, what is the reality of what's going to happen with Tyler Smith? Like, what's the situation here? Well, MRI came back. It confirmed that he suffered a hamstring strain. And that fucking sucks.
And it definitely goes beyond minor or whatever the heck they were saying just earlier today.
It does not back up what Jerry Jones is saying. So now he has a hamstring strain. And listen, I guess it can be, I've heard hamstring strains can be a couple days, you're good to go, then he'd be playing, starting and everything. But I also know that most of the time, it's a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
do you want to risk him for the whole year?
Time.
And so the question is, as fans here, do you want us? I think we need him in this game to have the offense be, efficient, consistently efficient. But do you want to force him in there? And maybe something worse happens, a tear. Now he misses the season. So, to me, it's like with a hamstring strain, which is minor, microscopic tears, right? Do you want to see Tyler Smith playing in this game against the Giants? Week 1 here, now 4 days away. Jerry Jones was confident he'd be ready for the season opener. I'm not confident like that. That was one of my biggest worries. I said it last night. And I still am very worried about that spot. Now, I'm not saying we're going to lose the game. I'm just saying it worries me. In that situation, are we ever going to see our starting offensive line at all again ever play together this season. I'm talking about Tyron Smith with Tyler Smith, with Biadasz, with Zach Martin, and Terrence Steele. I don't know if we've ever seen that like in like 2 years or some shit. So I don't know. I'm very, obviously not happy about this. And of course, this week we'll be talking more about the keys and matchups that we got to look at. Of course, this becomes a much more higher priority situation. But when you look at today's depth chart, which was released, it's interesting. It was pretty much the same as we kind of all know what it's going to be. But, on the defensive side, we had 12 players on there. We have 3 corners and 3 safeties. But that, it just shows Dan Quinn's defense is going to be using both of those guys.
Yeah, multiple pieces.
Yeah, whether it's Deron Bland or Donovan Wilson, whoever it's going to be, that 5th defensive back, they'll be in and out, be switching up depending on the situation. But when it comes, and of course, punt returner, kick returner, it's officially going to be Kevontae Turpin. Deuce Vaughn is the backup. But the main thing I saw here was when it came to I guess 2 things on offense. Tight end, the tight end position and another position, the offensive line. But the tight end position, Hendershot is listed as the number 2 over Schoonmaker. Does that surprise you at all?
A little bit.
Hendershot over Schoonmaker.
A little bit,
right
yeah.
Right now, yeah.
I mean, again, to me, I'm assuming that part of it is just because of the Schoonmaker injury situation. He probably just didn't get the time, I think, throughout this kind of preseason to be able to kind of officially get the spot over him. Yeah. So that's just my initial thought process. So, I'm assuming that will change very quickly by the time the weeks, 3, 4, 5 roll around.
Yeah. No, we'll see how that moves around when it comes to the tight end position. Now, when it comes to the offensive line, which is the other position, it's specifically 2 spots. Center, which is Tyler Biadasz, and who's his backup, baby? No one. There's no backup center right now on this team. So if he goes down in the game, I don't know what we're going to do. I do know what the Cowboys will end up doing, though. We'll be moving up. One of our 2 practice squad guys, probably the guy from the Giants that we just got over here, he'll probably be moved up to on the elevated from the practice squad to the game day roster. So that's how we solve the backup center spot. But the other spot that I'm looking at is Tyler Smith's spot, and who's listed as his backup? Because this is out now. Who's the backup to Tyler? Not me saying it, or you saying it, baby, or you guys saying it. Which backup you like best? There's Chuma Edoga right now, who's the left tackle backup and the right tackle backup. So officially, Chuma Edoga is our swing tackle. All right? That's set. So that leaves 2 guys, Austin Richards and TJ Bass. No backup center. We have 2 guards. These are the 2 guards listed here. And we have backup to Zach Martin is TJ Bass, number 66. The backup to Tyler Smith is number 76, Austin Richards. So to me, if I was going to guess right now, Austin Richards has the inside track to start on Sunday night against the Giants. And I will say one last thing. I brought this up on Mosh's channel. This will be a big loss for the Cowboys, but I'll say this. No matter how bad or good you might have thought he looked, and I think he looked the best out of our offensive linemen on the field in preseason, he's going to be with Biadasz to his right. He's going to have Tyler Smith to his left. He's going to have the other 2 guys being named Zach Martin and Terrence Steele. Just saying, he's going to have – it's different than you have Josh Ball, TJ Bass, Lindstrom, what's his name? Waletsko, and I'm saying, and TJ Bass. I'm saying when you have these guys there, you have – obviously it's a decline in talent. I think you'll see a better Austin Richards than we have seen at any game this year, although he's playing better people against him. He's going to have better help with him. And I think even though he's our weakest link, he at least can hang in there is my point. Enough for these plays to materialize, these quick plays. This is why McCarthy did this. When an offensive lineman goes down, there we go. So to me, Austin Richards, left guard backup right now. It looks like he'll take over Tyler Smith if things stay this way. Now, I'm curious to what you're saying because, we're going to get to the last 2 things here, which is basically a little bit of Giants' first look and the ref check. We got to do the ref check here. So any last things about the depth chart as we get ready for the Giants for this upcoming game, or thoughts from you or the chat?
Thrown out there. TJ Bass has been taking some snaps at center.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he took many, but right now he's not. As of now, TJ Bass is not being listed there as a center, or even the backup center. I will say this though: Brock Hoffman, number 67. Either him or the Giants, the new Giants, Shapley is his name, I think. One of those two guys, they both are centers. So we have 2 centers on our practice squad. I guarantee you guys, one of them will be elevated to be the backup center. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. They're not going to take a chance with TJ Bass, especially he's not even listed as he could have been listed as the backup center. Nope. It's going to be our practice squad center that's elevated, to the game day roster.
So, kind of touching here real quick. Jason Rufford said, "Better off letting Tyler Smith heal and just preparing for a home game."
That's the plan. Maybe he gets ready. Maybe he's ready for the Jets. That's the hope.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with something like a hamstring, I do think it's a little bit more 50-50. Similar to you touching on Sam Williams and the turf toe. Like, there's really only one answer for that type of injury, and it's to just not play and rest, and that's not really a choice. So what's the next best thing that we can do in that scenario? So, and kind of just thinking with that type of, I think, backwards mindset, not because it's backwards, but because you're working from the end back.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So, let me see. Lost in Translation is saying we should tailor the game to a run-heavy offense to help with the O-line situation. Run heavy with a little asterisk there, just because to me, run heavy just means it's going to feature these guys a lot. Does that mean they're going to run the ball a lot? Not all the time. I hate to keep stealing your words, baby.
No, steal away.
You said it so well. Very likely that a lot of our run game is just going to be
quick passes.
Those short little dump down passes, the actual short little dump down passes. That's an actual dink and dunk.
I think
but you get my point. Those short little quick passes that are basically going to be in lieu of some of those, handoff runs.
If on first down, if you throw the ball and those reads aren't there, there'll be a dump down guy. You get 2-3 yards. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
I think that's what the Cowboys will do.
So, Retro Scotty, take it easy. Have a great night.
Retro.
So, let me see here. And, of course, Voodoo Alpha, a.k.a. Alexander Moreno. Much love. He said, "I was so excited. Why do you have to bring up the zebras?" Oh,
we're getting right to that now. That's our next topic here. Get ready.
And there's a reason. And again, we get love, we get hate, mainly hate from the refs, the world around, all the way around. So one of the things that we started looking at last year was, just kind of taking a look at some of the refs for some of the matchups and some of the tendencies, right, that they tend to have. Do they like home teams? Do they like away teams? Are they, very flag happy, or are they the opposite? They're basically 3 blind mice out there that don't ever see flags. So
yeah, we're gonna get some trends for sure.
All of those things, of course, affect the game, and
you're about to hear about it now.
Just make it a more regular point to touch on each of the refs.
Listen, it's not. Let me just make sure I clarify this. It's not about like finding an excuse that, oh, look, the refs, they cheated us. We're getting ready to go after these refs. Not at all, guys. Let me explain. See this guy right here? He's the ref for this Giants game. All right, and we're going to talk about him and his crew and his tendencies. And we're going to do. I'm going to promise you guys. I'm going to try every week to do this. Probably on Tuesdays if we have the info. And I'll get you the info on these guys just to get a better idea. And what I believe, it's a coaching issue. This is on McCarthy. And I think he's done this better job last year, but it's about knowing your ref. If you can't get your hands next to a player's chest because the ref is flag happy on holding calls, you got to adjust a little bit that week, maybe practice that more often. I think McCarthy has done some of those things. So this week, when you look at the referee assignment for the Cowboy game, week 1, Adrian Hill. All right? He's in his 14th season and his 5th as a head ref on the field. Since 2019, I think he was there. And he's going to be reffing this game Sunday Night Football. According to, the statistics that back this up, guys, home teams have 29 wins, 33 losses, and 1 tie. So, in case you're wondering, guys, he's one of the 4 referees in the NFL that have a home team winning percentage of under 500%. So basically, when he's doing your game, he's going to probably favor the away team, which, well, we're the away team. So I guess it favors us right now.
Yeah, we get a little bit of a point towards us on that category.
Yeah, so again, Craig Rolstad, Adrian Hill, Brad Rogers, Scott Novak, these are the guys that are the only 4 refs out of the 16, ref crews that, are do not help the home teams. Let's put it that way on average. So now when it comes to Adrian Hill, he's worked 62 games in his career total, right? And home teams have won 46.8% of the time. Now, again, they won 47% of the time, but that's not more than half. Like, you expect more than half of the home teams winning when the ref is really strict on the home team. Let's put it that way. So again, that's one part of this. Then you also got his trend, some of his trends and how it impacts the game. Listen to this, guys. He's been a head ref since 2019. And overall, that's a small body of work. He has a total of, I think, actual head ref games, 47 head refereeing games, not just being part of staff. So, he's definitely a guy that you'll see, all right, is very even-keeled. He does not kind of throw more flags towards one team or the other for the most part. When he looks at your home and away situation, even though he does favor the away team a little bit, which would be us, it's still close in the middle. It's very, very in the middle for him, and that's what it's kind of like to me. Again, average. He's on the average mark when it comes to throwing penalties in every category. So again, he's basically a kind of guy I think we all want to see in the NFL. The NFL wants to see these kind of referees, a solid ref that's not really involved in too many controversial calls on the field or try to take over a game. So that's the kind of ref we're dealing here with. I think that's good. I think that we're fine with him. And again, he helps the away team. But when you look at the underdog situation, well, we are the favorites. We're 3-point favorites in New York, right?
Tough to do.
He actually starts to favor the underdogs. This is the home underdog nonetheless, but still, his record when it comes to the underdog in his 47 career games, 30 wins for the underdog, 16 losses for the underdog, and 1 tie. So he kind of really favors underdogs by 66% over the favorite. So we got a little advantage as being the away team, but they got a huge advantage for the reffing core when it comes to his tendencies and kind of helping the team that's a weaker team, I guess you can say. And I don't say that's on purpose. It's a tendency. Whatever the reason is, it is. You know what's even worse than that, though? Against divisional underdogs, which this is specifically that, he's 9 wins for the underdog, 4 wins for the favorite team, and 1 tie. That's 66% as well. He favors divisional underdogs, which is the Giants versus us in this game. So again, the refs, I still am fine with these little numbers and he seems to be just an even-keeled guy. He's not going to overdo any kind of penalty. He's not going to, he's not favoring any kind of specific penalty. So just got to play a clean game if you're the Cowboys. No fucking excuses for the Cowboys. You got to overcome everything, including the refs. So be it. Any thoughts on that, baby, in the chat or from you?
I mean, at least in this one particular matchup, it doesn't seem like we have to fight the ref with both fists and, our whole squadron of Cowboys behind us, right? So, honestly, all we ever want for the refs is just as much impartiality and neutrality as they can possibly achieve. Yep. And this guy sounds just about as middle of the road average as you can possibly get, which honestly bodes pretty well for us just in general. Like, as long as we go out there and play a clean game, then
no flag happy refs. That's a good thing always. I like to see a game played out a little bit more than worry about flags every 5 seconds.
Oh, cracking me up. Voodoo said the ref is that ref is having people bet on the games he plays, it sounds like.
Know about that.
You know what, that would be something. I guess I can't put it past him, right? So, Lost in Translation said, I think we have the penalties under control since last year.
McCarthy definitely improved that.
So,
all right.
Thomas Garrett, much love to you. But actually, a huge shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord, links down below. But an extra special shout out to the sponsor of the week, And the membership man, Jason Ramfro.
Yes.
Shout out to you. The Cash App King Snug X. You know why he's here. And of course, David Lara, the stream boss, with 64 points.
And the leader on 2 of those, Skeptical Fan on the Cash App and Skeptical Fan currently. Oh, no, actually, yeah, he's leading the overall board, of course. And then you got, of course, Jason Renfro going for that 6, up right now 3-1. I got to fix that, I think, on the board up there. So I'm going to fix that on the board. Hit up another comment or 2, and then we're going to go to the final part of our stream. Just quickly discuss a little first look at these New York Football Giants.
Let me see here. Okay, so Voodoo wanted me to keep reading his earlier comment. He said, McCarthy didn't have these issues with refs in Green Bay. It's why he gets frustrated and speaks out about it. He knows it's not normal. He's been part of many franchises, so he knows that there's something off.
Yeah, and it's probably just the fact that we have a big old star on the side of our helmet. I'll never forget you saying that, baby. It just seems to be the only thing that really makes any kind of logical sense. We attract all kinds of fans and all kinds of, people always can't, always with that star. Maybe the same thing with the refs. They just look harder because we got that star in our helmet. I don't know. Let's talk about our opponent, baby. And that's the New York flipping Giants. They suck. F them. But look, they're much better than they were last year. And they made the playoffs last year. Let's get a quick overlook of these Giants.
They have improved.
Listen, there were 9 wins, 7 losses, 1 tie last year. 3rd place in the NFC East. The last time we played them was, of course, in November last year. Cowboys won 28-20, Thanksgiving. A little closer than maybe we even would have thought at that point, right? But the Giants are not bad last year. They're better this year, so don't sleep on this. The Cowboys do lead the overall series. 73 wins, 47 losses, and 2 ties. Their head coach for the Giants, Brian Daboll. All right, Brian Daboll, again, works on that offensive side of things, I think mainly, but he's, of course, last year he was a rookie coach, 9-7-1 last season. The key additions, guys, for this team, someone we're going to talk about a lot this week, and that's tight end Darren Waller. All right, you got to keep an eye on him. You got wide receiver Paris Campbell, linebacker Bobby, I can never say his name, Okereke. And you got, again, a drafted guy, cornerback, Deontay Banks, which is somebody I think was a first-round draft pick. And they got the guy that, kind of, people made a big deal about our receivers coach talking to them and saying, your film didn't look good about this or that. From Tennessee, Jalen Hyatt. Of course, the Giants drafted him. So these are the new additions, the key new additions, you could say, from the Giants. The key departures, they lost some people, and that was their center, John Feliciano. They got a rookie in there, Schmitz, now I think taking over there. They got offensive lineman Nick Gates. He's out of New York. Also Richie James Jr., receiver, Galladay, Julian Love. All these guys are gone out of there. The Giants last year surprised a lot of people, including us, in last season's run they had there. The first year under their new coach, Brian Daboll, and they had a 9-7-1 record. They had a playoff appearance. They beat the Vikings in that first playoff game and then lost to the Eagles in a big way, so that was pretty bad for them. But again, we know the deal last year, all right? So there's no question in my mind the Giants have improved tremendously from last year to this year. I just always like to remind people, so have we. We've also improved. I don't know if it's as tremendous or not, but I know the improvements of Brandon Cooks. I know the improvement of Stephon Gilmore, of a lot of these draft picks we have. And on top of that, even just the play calling changing situation on offense. These are huge upgrades that also give us, I think, the upper hand against the Giants. We'll be doing the predictions and stuff like this, at the end of the week. So as we turn the page here and get ready to go to tomorrow's kind of deeper dive on the Giants, I just want to always give a first look and give the ref breakdown on this day. That's, we're at the end of the stream. I'll throw this out there, though. Some players to watch. Some guys to keep an eye on still. Don't forget about these guys. I'm going to start off with, again, I know we got Daniel Jones, and I think we're going to have Donovan Wilson. If he's able to, he'll be spying him. You're going to hear me talk about a lot of that, about more detail about this tomorrow and other days. If he's okay, if he's able to play. If he's not, I think Marquise Bell. This is where Overshown would have been a good player to also have on Daniel Jones. You got to have somebody who can tackle because Daniel Jones is big. That's one of the matchups there from our defense versus their offense. I think you also have to watch Saquon Barkley. Everyone's got to watch Saquon Barkley. There's no question. We got to stop the run. That's all I'm going to be watching big time in every game this year. We stop the run, we're number one. We're going to get the win. So that's a major point as a consistency we got to see, and that's Saquon Barkley's a big tough choice for the Cowboys week 1. And when it comes to their offense, there's 2 more guys I want to talk. That's the 2 main guys. Obviously, we know about them. I'm not scared of Daniel Jones, but we do got to watch his running ability, and he's not going to have any time back there. He's just not going to have time. So I'm not worried about that. His throwing issues, he's not going to have a clean pocket. He's going to have some issues back there. So who are the people that are going to try to save, Daniel Jones? Of course, Saquon out the backfield. We just got to watch him. But then you got to worry about Darren Waller from the Raiders, now a Giant. And the Giants traded for Darren Waller this offseason. It's a move that's going to pay dividends for them, in my opinion. Always a quarterback's best friend. Reliable tight end. One of the top tight ends in the league. There's no question about that. And when he's healthy, and he's healthy right now, he's one of the league's top 3 tight ends, in my opinion, in the NFL. And last year, because of an injury and really the lack of talent around the Raiders, the receiving options for the injuries for the Giants is what I meant, and the lack of talent at the receiving spots for the Giants, there was not a lot of options for Daniel Jones. He's going to have some options this year. He's just not going to have the time, I think, against our Cowboys. So, again, they are returning some key veterans, and they have the addition on offense of Darren Waller. I think that, that's a guy you have to keep an eye on. If this offense gets rolling, it's going to be number 83. Is that his number now? 83? Darren Waller. He's a guy you Cowboys have to watch. And again, easy. I'm going to talk about this all week. Number 1, J-Ron Curse. He's the guy that's specifically going to be on the spot here. J-Ron Curse has to take over that tight end lockdown job. And he's done that to Waller a couple years ago on Thanksgiving. He's done it to Kelsey. He's done it to name me a tight end. He's done it against them. You can check the stats. So J-Ron Curse, knock on wood, everything goes good till we get to the game day, of course, and then he gets it on there and locks. He's gonna help lock down, slow down Darren Waller, who's gonna be a key piece of the Giants' offense. And another key piece of the Giants' offense you definitely cannot forget about or sleep on is wide receiver Sterling Shepard. Yeah, I said his name, guys. Again, the last time he played in an NFL game was October 2nd, Monday night last year, where he left the game. He tore his ACL in that game, Shepard, against the Cowboys the last time when Cooper Rush was there in New York last year. So, again, now he's back, ready to roll as one of the top receiving options for the Giants. And, again, if he is truly 100% healthy, we don't know if he's there. If he is, he's going to be a guy you got to watch. Of course, if he still has to get used to things and acclimate, he may be on a limited snap count this first game. But either way, the Cowboys cannot forget about this receiver particularly. Of course, Hyatt is there too, we know. But you can't forget about Shepard. He's healthy. He's a threat. He can change the game with a big play. So he has big playability when he's healthy. And he's going to be in this game, so you got to keep an eye on him. Again, Darren Waller's the main option there in the passing game with Saquon Barkley as the main piece of the offense and getting into, Daniel Jones' face and kind of, having a spy if you needed to. I think that's definitely a good idea on someone like Daniel Jones. We do these things, guys, in a consistent way, which we should. It's lights out Giants offense. I don't see how they even really make it a game other than our own rustiness. And I say rustiness on offense and defense. That gives them some early points, and maybe we screw up a couple opportunities early in the game. So either way, we'll talk a lot more about this, here in the next couple of days as we gear up and get ready for Week 1 Sunday Night Football against the New York Giants. That's all I got to say there.
Now, real quick, Cactus, you said y'all giving the Ants way too much credit. Well, 14, 17, 23. We don't have a number 1 defense if we let them score that much. Barkley might get loose once, but that's about it.
I mean, I said that. Okay, well, I do admit, I think I said this on Masha's channel. I gave the quick prediction of slow start for the Cowboys. It might be like, 7-3 or 10-3 halftime. Cowboys will be up. But I do think that by the end of the game, it's going to be, we're going to get rolling because the offense is going to got to give us, I believe, 21 points. If the offense on their own can get us 21 points, the defense is going to get you 10 at least. I think the defense, and I say 10, I don't mean they're going to score it themselves necessarily. But I mean that they will create a turnover, get us a fumble, recover a fumble, get us on the 2-yard line or something, and then we just run it. That's a defensive touchdown to me. I need 3 offensive drives with 3 offensive touchdowns. And then anything bonus comes from the defense. Just saying, I can see us easily getting 31, and we beat them 31-10. Easily. Even with no Tyler Smith. But I do think it's a slow start, first quarter specifically. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope we go fast start and never look back. That's what I hope. But I'm not going to dream either. I'm going to just say what I believe, and that's the reality is I think we're going to be a little rusty because no one of our offensive starters or defensive starters truly played any time out there on a true football game kind of situation, right? So still waiting for that first one. And that's going to happen only Sunday night for the first time for all our starters, pretty much.
So let me see. Cactus G said, anyone know the Giants O-line rating as well?
I mean, I think they were in the 20s, if I was not mistaken. But I'll have to double check that. I don't like to go to those ratings too much. I know that they have listen, I believe that their offensive line has improved a little bit at least. So they're going to be a little better, but I'm just telling you, I truly believe they're not a top 10 offensive line.
That's not where the improvements are really made on the Giants team. Yeah,
I agree. And I think that I agree with you. The improvements were a little bit there on the offensive line. I think they went with a rookie center, which a guy I really liked, guys. But I think that the rookie center, Schmidt, I think will he be able to handle his first? Let's talk about his first game, right? And he's going to have DeMarcus Lawrence over his head sometimes, or even Micah rushing right over his skull. So I'm just saying, like, Mozzie Smith, rookie versus rookie. I'm just saying, like, there's some. We got to talk about that too. And you realize I'm talking a lot about the Giants defense versus our offense mainly. And I'm also throwing in there, of course, some of the defensive, switches we may have to make because of the injuries or key matchups. But I didn't even touch on that defensive front because I believe our defensive front's going to just wreck them their day. As far as they have Andrew Thomas, very good. I think that's his name, Andrew Thomas. I think it's the right tackle is he? Or left tackle? Either way, I think he's left tackle. The point is he's very good. They have some good guys up there. Just when I think about our defensive line, what we're bringing, I just don't know how they're going to stop us consistently. No matter how good they may or may not be. Much love, Jared LCCZ. Oh, I'm sorry, Jared Lokes in the house. I read it wrong. Much love, Jared Lokes in the house. Welcome to the family. Yes, welcome to the familia here.
Donald Gray, what's up, saying, we'll have to watch out for the new components of the Giants defense. They added speed to their front seven.
Yeah, they are speed, and on offense and defense, they're deceptive. Very deceptive, very tricky team. They will try to pull that on you, especially on offense. On defense, they added some speed. They had some good cornerback, Deonte Banks. But
probably a good thing we sped up our offense then, huh?
Very good.
And
good
I don't
catch.
mean that to be sarcastic. I mean that literally. Like, it is definitely a good thing we sped up our offense. Otherwise, this could spell a much bigger disaster than just, they'll probably get us a few more plays.
Yeah. No. Listen, we're gonna we're just on an iceberg here. We're gonna get a deeper dive here in the next couple of days and really dig into this matchup as we always do. Yeah. This is the first look, the quick glance.
Yeah, and this is gonna be the least news-packed kind of moment like this, just because obviously. Very hard to talk about a first look or things like that when most of the stuff is still talking about the preseason, right? We're all still waiting for Sunday before we can fully evaluate it.
Wink Martindale, which is the Giants' defensive coordinator, he's very aggressive. He's going to send a lot of blitz packages. He's always done this with the Ravens. He's done this with the Giants last year. He's going to do it again now. So expect that it's going to be about quick reads. You're not going to have Dak able to run the ball too much. When they come barreling to us, what will Deuce Vaughn do? Will he punch out and then be there? Will the Giants be ready for that? I think they will. So you got to be very aware about that. Dak's got to be ready to handle whatever the Giants throw at them. They're going to be attacking and they're going to be aggressive. I believe that McCarthy sees enough in the way that you can defeat that kind of defense. Again, imagine this. Okay? We don't have Noah Brown out there anymore. It's Brandon Cooks. Imagine if on a slant, Brandon Cook takes that when they're blitzing their linebackers and we have a slant going right over where that linebacker is blitzing from. Dak's going to hit him in stride. He's touchdown city right there. I'm just saying, bring the blitz, Wink. Bring it on. So, hey, I'm excited for this game. And again, it's going to be some rust. But I think eventually we bust out and take control of this game. But we'll talk about this in much more detail and talk about the key factors of what the Cowboys need to do to get this first win, kicking off the season. So any last comments and shout out time, baby? We got to shut down.
Yeah, of course. Jumps and Cowboys, what's up? He said 35-14 is my prediction because their defense sucks. We should have enough weapons on both sides. Setting the tone like that sends a statement if we're serious about making a run.
Agree. 100%.
And not just that, but again, against a better Giants team, against an NFC East kind of rival, right? All those things do carry a little bit more weight, especially since we're kicking off the season. We want to start things off right. So with that said, though, guys, I'm going to go ahead and read a handful more comments here, do some shout-outs, and then
we're calling it a night. Yep.
We're calling it a night.
Right.
An extra special shout-out to the people helping to bring you guys the MCF stream here. As always, thank you very much to Jason Renfro, the sponsor of the weekend, the membership man. Woo. Thank you, SnugX, of course. He's the Cash App king. And representing there up top, David Lara, bossing that stream around with 63.
Biotish style right there.
On the
David
board.
Lara, yes. And currently in the lead in the Cash App side, once again, it's the man Skeptical. Keeping that down. Much love to him. Much love to Robert Gallardo. Gallardo.
Thank you for summing it up.
Welcome to the family, Robert. Appreciate you. Skeptical fan, of course, he's repping that Cash App lead right now over Jason Renfro. But it's flipped around the other way. Jason Renfro's got a 3-1 lead over Skeptical fan currently on that membership gifting board. That's a close battle right there. And then, of course, the overall right now, it is Skeptical fan in control there. So Skeptical with a little takeover right now. Much love to everybody here with us tonight. Jason Renfro, Brandon James Shea, Cowboys Mosh, and Skeptical fan. Appreciate your guys' love, your drops of love from above. Can't do this without your support on that side of things. Let's do the shout-outs, baby. And, you can do a comment while you do a shout-out in there, too.
No, of course. Let me see. MH, Take It Easy. Jeff Coughlin, Traveling Fools.
Hey.
We have Stoned Immaculate 2. Cactus G in the house. Jumps in Cowboys, much love. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett.
I think Traveling Fools actually jumps right back into the Navy Blue, I think.
There you go.
Yeah, he's like, I got a gift to the one. I'm going to stay here. Man, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Traveling.
Yes.
Let me see. Cactus G, Donald Gray, Aztec Aguilar 04. Of course, Voodoo Alpha.
Voodoo.
Take it easy. Have a great night, Voodoo. Lost in Translation podcast. We have Tammy Soltis.
Yeah, good night,
Jason
Jeff.
Renfro.
Good night, Jeff. Good night, MH. Jason and Renfro in the house.
Yeah, I shut him off.
I know, Stephen White.
No, just making sure. But Tommy Montoya, Aztec Aguilar 04. Going back here, Cactus G, Q Ball, Lost in Translation. That's as far back as it lets me go there. So, with that said, let me see. Asmodeus MH, yeah, Jeff.
Yes.
All of you guys, huge shout out. Thank you so much for hanging here.
Hey, baby, I see Jinx. I want to ask you a question. Why do we do this here on MCF, on My Cowboys Family, each and every night?
I'm going to answer that question.
Tell me why.
It's that
Tell me
navy
why.
blue.
Navy blue?
It's that silver, too.
Silver, too?
That star over everything.
Over everything, guys. Here in MCF, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, here we always rep this star over everything. Thank you for rocking with us on My Cowboys Family, 6+ years and beyond. 7th football season kicking off. And baby, here, never forget. The number one thing here, now, and forever, as always, never forget. Go Cowboys. Let's get, you see it on my shirt, let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for rocking it here with us, dropping your drops of knowledge all night long. Can't do this, cannot do this without your love and support and your drops of love from above. Truly appreciate your guys' 2 cents on our Cowboys and your support on all fronts here on MCF. Also, as this stream comes to a close, before we can officially drop out, clock out of here for the night, and we relock and reload for another show tomorrow. As we get, now we get practice, now we get injury reports, we get a little more. Now the Cowboys have to actually announce some stuff. So do the Giants. We'll catch up on the real deal starting tomorrow on this big kickoff NFC East battle, Week 1, 2023. But here, as we get ready for tomorrow, baby, before we can drop out for the night, let everybody know what we got to do first before we can get on out and drop on out of here.
We got to drop the beat.
Well, guys, thank you for rocking with us once again. I will tell you this. I'll be looking about, how will Donovan Wilson and Tyler Smith and a couple other guys be listed on the injury report. Sam Williams, right? We got to see how everybody here is going to be listed on the IR tomorrow. On the practice report. I shouldn't say injury report. Practice report. And we'll know kind of what's wrong with them and how maybe the severity may be based on how much they practiced. We know that's what's the giveaway on that stuff. So we'll be checking in on that tomorrow and breaking down all the news, info, and updates on the nightly here. Right here on My Cowboys Family. And again, another Cowboys chat tomorrow night. Once again, join us for that. Tonight, it was Jerry Jones center stage talking about Tyler Smith and Dak and his ability to trade players whenever he wants and all that good stuff as well. Behind the scenes, Gallimore's deal being done and restructured, opening up a little money and getting to that cash floor that they're trying to get to. Here in MCF, we're just trying to rep that star over everything. That navy blue, the silver too, you know what we do here. Never forget the number one thing here at My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone, and truly stay safe, family. Stay safe out there. We'll see you back tomorrow for another one. Have a good night. Peace. And oh yeah, never ever forget. Go Cowboys!